gonna hurt your back, dragging all your bags like that. I'm talking to Karen and a little bit of Amani too. What's up? How you doing, Ray of Sunshines? I am your girl, Talisa Rae, lifestyle coach, and we are reviewing Mary and Million season number 11, episode number 7. The honeymoon is over. It's over now. No, that's the wrong song. Anyway, if it's your first time visiting, welcome to my channel. Welcome. Stay a while, put your feet up, click the subscribe button, be a ray of sunshine. You know what I'm saying? Come back over and over and over again for everything. So let's get into this review. So we see them come from their nice Cancun, Mexico trip, and they are now back in NOLA, right? New Orleans, however you call it. They are moving into an apartment that is separate from their respective spaces in a centralized like apartment complex so that all the couples are there together. Let's start off with Amelia and Bennett. Let's go A and B. They go in, they start looking around, and there's a pillow that says I love us. And you know, Bennett makes mention of it, and Amelia says, I love us equates to I is you, us is me. I was like, uh-oh. She might have that the world revolves around me syndrome. Uh-oh. This might be a little bit of a side of Amelia that is fresh. Not that it's currently a problem, but definitely something to watch out for. I love us means I love us together, us as a family, us as a unit. Like, that's just my thought. I didn't realize they provide all the stuff, like the pots and the pans, and I didn't know that. I don't know how I didn't see that last semester, child, we ain't in school. Last season, I don't understand how I didn't see that at all. They go in the closet, honey, and start singing because it's got good acoustics. They are the same, like two sides of the same coin, where she's more ambitious and he's more creative. I mean, she's got creativity in her too, but when I look at them, that's how I see them, two sides of the same coin, of a dollar piece. Okay, what's funny is Amelia's all like, so we've got 2 bathrooms, we can use one for hygiene and one for toilet stuff. Oh, okay, I guess because they don't know each other very well, and then not knowing each other well, maybe, you know, the whole number 2 should be done in the other bathroom, but 1 and 2, y'all help me understand, because he's funny. He's like, oh, you wash your hands in the toilet? Like, because to him it didn't make any sense either. Okay, like, I don't know, didn't make none to me either. I was like, the second bathroom is for guests, and if you're in this one, I could do it too. Look who's in, Punchinella 47, but in the other bathroom. Now, I love when somebody asks you how you slept. How was your night? Did you dream? What did you dream about? Like, because dreams are very telling. And Amelia does that, seems like every morning so far that we've seen them. We go over to Amelia's house first. We find out that she lives in a mansion with her roommates versus his tiny house that he built himself. So you go through the house. It's a really big, airy, spacious house. And I'm trying to wonder, like, is her room, because you can see that the doors are off the hinges and she has like little curtains or something put up as a divider. Is that entire space hers, the little living area and the room, or is just that is it just the room and the living area is just happens to be off her room? I'm kind of feeling like all of that is her space, right? Both of the two combined. What do y'all think? Help me understand that. Let me know down below in the comments. We find out more things about Amelia. She's super creative. She's making jewelry for the local art market. I was like, I would buy some of them pieces. Like, that goes with my boho chic vibe when I'm feeling like that, when I want to be eclectic or eccentric, or honey, let me tell you, it goes very well. I would totally buy them. He goes through her yearbook, honey, and you find out that Amelia is just not a nerd. She's pretty much Miss Congeniality. She was vice president, I think, of the student body. She played for a whole year every sport where she couldn't get good at one, but she did try every sport. And that she was homecoming queen. You know what? That put Bennett on a little bit of edge, only because of the simple fact that he was like, I don't want to mess this up. I hope I don't mess this up. Please, God, I didn't ever think that I was going to marry the homecoming queen. Because y'all know that's a big deal, right? To them. Anyway, when they get to Bennett's house, I actually like how his yard is kind of messy and unkempt. But it's all this vegetation and all these beautiful plants. Like, that felt good. Like, walk outside your front door barefoot in that, like, semi-jungle. Okay, so she asked him, is there a bathroom and a kitchen in there? He's all like, nope, I go to the bathroom across the way. They didn't point to the house, but I wonder whose house is that. They walk in, and it actually is a really nice, quaint space. The loft is where he sleeps above, and then all of his other stuff is down below. It is one, like, gigantic room with, like, shelves and, like, a desk. And, you know, at first I couldn't read how Amelia was feeling, but he said, she said, this is amazing. She loved it. She loved the fact that he was for the environment, that he was about sustainability, that he, you know, utilized his space really well, that he was creative. She was very much so impressed. He talked about that little elephant hat he was going to wear, and she told him, if you had worn it, I would have been head over heels immediately. He should have wore it. He should have stayed true to him. Well, we get back to the apartment and Pastor Cal goes for a visit. You hear me, child? And they're sitting on the couch talking to him, and I'm thinking to myself, OM goodness. Bennett, I know that you don't have a shower in your own place. Like your own little minimalist place, your own little tiny house. You know, you got to go across the street. But here, guess what? You get to take a shower every day, every other day. You get to wash your feet off because those feet look like you have been walking outside on the asphalt, not inside your house. Even though I know with hardwood floors, they get a little dusty. But listen, put on some socks. That was horrible. I can't stand no dirty bottom feet, okay? Unless you out and you are on the ground, or you out, you know, like walking barefoot at the beach, that kind of thing. It's just me. When they start talking to Pastor Cal's first question is, have you guys talked about children? Because he's aware of Bennett's thoughts on children. He's aware that Bennett thinks that it's better to adopt, that the world is already overpopulated, and that there are a lot of children that needs homes. I believe that sometimes the experts or the producers or whomever goes through that stuff, sometimes they look at that stuff and know that there may be some discord, but they've already worked through that. Aha, fooled you. That's how we do it at Pomona. Fool. Okay, y'all know sugar free? That's what that's from. Anyway, so they work through that, and she's okay with adopting, and he's okay with having children. It's a compromise. It's one of those C's I talk about in relationships. But the thing that shocks me is the fact that Pastor Cal, when they start talking about her residency, Amelia's residency, and saying, listen, she may have to move. He said he wasn't sure if that's something that he would do, because he's already established there. He has a theater company. He likes his home. His friends are there, etc., etc. So I really was like, Bennett, because remember, all the answers he's been given previously have been very amicable. He told her mother, yes, I will follow her anywhere if I become head over heels. He told her sort of the same thing. Yeah, I'd be willing to, but now that we're back home in New Orleans, he's all like, yeah, no, I don't know. I can't tell you that I can. I like where I am. It's a thing. Let's talk Karen and Miles, shall we? So they get to the place, they start looking around. First thing Miles says is, this is where my Xbox is gonna go, in the living room, so he can play games on the couch in the living room. I think it would be a better bet to put that in that spare bedroom, but that's not my house, it's not my relationship. You could tell though that she was like, how often do you play? He was like, a lot, like, you know, a fair amount. And she was like, like, it's a thing. Like, because your time will be focused there and not spending it with me. And I'm not an Xbox player. I don't play no gaming systems. So I don't know. Let's see how that works out for their relationship as we continue through these next 7 weeks. But we hear her start talking about his age in her like confessional or diary cam or whatever it's called. Like, oh, it's like he's 4 years younger than me, so it feels like he just got out of high school. Girl, he's 26. He's been out of high school for a little bit of time. Now, he does have some tendencies to be a little childish. Most men, even 50-year-olds, have the tendency to be a little childish. But I don't see a problem. I think she just really just blocked off and really just trying to figure out what's what. I don't know. So they go into the second bedroom and she's like, this is my office space. Like, is it a shared office space or is it just your office space? And the doghouse. You already putting him in there? Y'all not gonna work through things? You the one needs some alone time. So maybe that needs to be just for you. You're the one who specifically said in the beginning, I need my alone time. But we know he does too because of his mental health issues. Excuse me. I think, you know, she was all like, can you go and get my stuff? Because that's what I got a husband for. Like, you could see he was a little irritated by the way she asked to go get his stuff. Her stuff so she can start putting her stuff in the closet. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm overreaching. Y'all let me know if I'm reaching too far. Like, is it in the stars and I need to pull it up? Let me know. So they go visit Miles's house first. And remember, his dad and his dad was like, he's messy, he's, you know, not so neat. And Karen's a little nervous and Miles is all like, my dad ain't never been here. But when we go inside, I can see what his dad is saying. Like, it's not well organized. He lives like a bachelor. That's what he is. It is his space to do as he wishes. But I can see what his dad says. His closet got as many shoes as mine and yours, ladies. I mean, but nowadays, fellas do. They got a whole lot of tennis shoes. Kingston is well on his way to getting a lot of tennis shoes. He likes the tennis shoe. He likes shoes. Like the other one, he don't like shoes. But that little one loves shoes. Like, he be trying to match and be all swaggy. They go to Karen's house, and Karen's house looks like a lady who lives by herself. While she was talking about all the shoes and stuff that he got in his closet, so does she. But he was touching everything, honey. He was looking and touching and seeing. Like, this is the most probably he's learning about her is right now while he's in her house. So he's trying to soak up everything, sitting on the couch. Don't get on my rug. Her white rug, take your shoes off. I get it. Like, you got a certain aesthetic and you want things to look a specific way, and them outside shoes inside makes things dirty. So I get it. I'm with her. I understand all of that. So stop touching my stuff though. Well, a little later, Pastor Cal goes to visit them and they give him a warm welcome. You know, like they've been knowing him forever. It's that whole black thing. Like, you see another black person and you be excited to see him. That's all that is. That's how I see it. Like, she warned him like that was her uncle, her brother, her cousin. He dapped him up, you know, like that was his uncle, his friend, the homie. Like, I love that warm exchange because it makes you feel like you're in a safe space. You're more vulnerable and open to share what's happening and what's going on. I like that Pastor Cal told him right off, listen, you guys are no longer strangers. That pretty much that my stranger shit has to go out the window. You are married, okay? You wanted to get married, you're married, you were strangers for all of 2 days. Now you are in a full committed relationship and need to be learning as much as possible as you can about one another. That's pretty much how I read that. That's very, and I'm glad that he said that. Now, I know some of y'all, aka Lorenzo, does not like Pastor Cal. I love me some Pastor Cal. I love that he is level-headed. Maybe he does favor women a little bit more because he knows that men don't see the way we see things. So I think it's more, I'm trying to help you understand where she's coming from. Let's get back to what's happening in the review. He asked them, is there any attraction between the two of you? Oh wait, hold on. Before I get there, he asked them, do you guys feel married? She immediately said, no, I don't know him. He's still a stranger. He had to remind her, hey, yo, listen, y'all not strangers no more. That's it. And she's like, I just have to get accustomed to it and get to know him. I don't know him. You knew you was going into this process for that, Karen. Did you or didn't you? Well, then he said, Is there an attraction between the two of you? Miles, with no hesitation, said no, that she makes him feel like it's okay, that he's in a safe place, that he's comfortable, and on top of that, she's beautiful. And why wouldn't you be attracted to her? Like, look at her, like compliments all the way around. That's what we like. I was all buttered up myself. She was just like, he's very handsome. And he was like, and she was like, calm down, let him bask in that. He ain't reading you all the way and not really sure if you like him yet. What we found out, or what we already probably know, is that he's super affectionate and that he hugs her and kisses her on the cheek and stuff. And he was like, I didn't even ask how you felt about that. And she's all like, it's weird. I don't know you. It's been a long time since I had somebody that was doing this kind of stuff. I'm not really big on PDA, and so it's really different. And he asked her, Pastor Cal said, are you adverse to PDA of affection? And because PDA is different from just affection, and we ain't doing it in public, but what about behind closed doors? She was like, no, it's just weird. So she just says, you know what, and I'm not really ready to open up with that yet, not until I start trusting you, but understand that I'm nervous, and that's why I won't open up. I'm nervous about who he is. Is this who he's gonna be? Is he pretending to be someone else? I'm waiting to see if this is consistent, because I've seen it and I've heard it before. So Pastor Kyle just pretty much asks her, so are you afraid of someone seeing you for who you are? Are you afraid? Do you have the fear of that? And she's like, no, I'm afraid of somebody hurting me, and I'm not sure how it's gonna work. And she instantly starts crying, okay, like tears coming down her eyes and carrying on. Nobody wants to get hurt, but when you go into love, you have to go into love open and fresh. This is a new situation, not carrying them bags from previously. Fresh, clean slate. You have to be entirely ready. That's why it's important that if you need help, get you some therapy. Go see a coach. Do something to heal yourself from love. I offer that service. You know, and Pastor Cal asks, what's his name? Miles, how does he feel about that? Miles didn't really say how he felt about that. All he said was that he was in it, and I just kind of tried to reassure her that, you know, I'm in this for the long haul, that I like you, that I got your back. You know, Pastor Cal also said the reason we paired you with Miles is because he has the heart the size of Louisiana, that he is a giver, that he wants to make sure you're okay. But in doing so, Miles, being a giver can wear you thin. What is it that you want? He starts off with happy wife, happy life. He's no happy spouse, happy house, because your happiness is just as important as hers, and you need to communicate what it is that you want. And she goes on to say, this is what I mean. I need to know everything about you, and if you're just concerned about me, am I going to find out who you are? This is just you caring for my needs and not expressing your own, and that's something that I want from you. And so two things that I gathered from this whole little situation. One, that's why Miles has been in so many relationships, because he does not know what it is that he wants out of a relationship. He can't tell you. He can't tell you what he wants, what he likes. And in order for us to have a happy, healthy, successful, committed relationship, you have to know yourself, and you have to know what you want. You have to understand that. Because to communicate it so that you can get that out of your partner. Like, hello, somebody. And then Karen, honey, Karen just ain't ready. Karen ain't ready. Karen should have waited. As of this episode, Karen should have waited, okay? Karen is still harboring that hurt from that 5-year relationship and that man stepping out on her. She don't understand why. You know, maybe she does and we don't know yet, but she needs to figure out how to heal and move past that and do it quickly so that she doesn't miss out on what could potentially be a good relationship for herself. Throw those bags away. Unpack those bags. Organize that shit and put it in a place that it's supposed to go if it's needed, and throw the rest of it away. You carrying too much shit. Ladies, we carry a lot of shit just on our own without the influence of bad relationships, failed relationships. We carry a lot of shit already. I'm just saying. Now, I do like, though, next episode, we seen a little kiss. That kiss looked like it was good. I kind of felt it in my soul like that was a good, sensuous kiss on that dare. I can't wait till next week just for that. Forgive any background noise you hear. It's my children. The both of them. One playing games, one watching a movie or listening to music or something. But let's go ahead and talk about Henry and Christina. So Christina says right off in her diary cam, you know, us moving in together is going to determine if we are in the friend zone. Because he still has not made any moves, not held her hand, not touched her shoulder. Like, there is nothing that says that he likes her. That's probably the question that should be asked. Not if you are attracted, but if I actually like you. Because I could be attracted to you but not like you, and we find out in a little bit what I mean. When they come in, you know, she's all like, let's take our shoes off at the door, not to track in the outside. He's all like, can I keep my shoes on? Why would you want to? You don't want to bring that in your house. Take your shoes off at the door, please. Anybody who comes here has to take their shoes off at the door. I hear her complaining. She don't like nothing about the apartment. She don't like the closet. She don't like the bathroom. She don't like the way the furniture is arranged. I mean, she is just complaining about everything. You gonna come in and make it your own. I need to move the furniture around. I need to, you know, listen, child, relax a little bit. Live a little bit. So they go to Henry's place first, and he lives in the studio. At least the kitchen is separate. It's small. But when she goes in there, there's nothing in there, nothing in the refrigerator or the freezer. He said he don't cook. I normally go to my mama house or pop something in the microwave or go out to eat. It's just that simple. Ain't no need for this. He's a bachelor. Do like though how he has like his bedroom set up, and you have the shelves with all his little trinkets on it. Trinkets would be the right word, right? With all his trinkets and things on it. So I'm all like, okay, he's very neat and in order. And what she called it was, it's very sterile. She said it was very sterile and used another word. I'm not sure. I didn't know that Henry had heart surgery. Did they say that to us before? And is that why he lost that weight? Y'all let me know if I missed that and it was said to me before, said to us before, down below in the comments. So when they leave, Henry says, okay, so now we're gonna go to your place. And she's all like, well, all my stuff is in the car and in storage. Now, we know that she just moved to the city, but she said that she lives in CBD. I was like, what is that? The Central Business District, or it's like downtown. And she don't. Is she homeless? Does she have a place to stay? Is she the new Matt? She feeling real homeless like to me right now. Now, I really find Henry has a sense of humor. When they start talking about her being gone and let me know if there's something that you need or it bothers you while we're living together, let's talk about it. You know, he's very open. He don't really like her though. That's really what the deal is. He don't really like her. But he says, you know, while you're gone, I'm going to have parties or whatever. And it was all in jest, but I think that, oh, constipated Christina didn't understand that kind of wit, or maybe it was just the way when the camera panned. You know, sometimes they make things out to be worse than what they are. Well, baby, Pastor Cal comes for a visit, like he is making his rounds. Different suit today though, so he visited them on a different day than he visited everyone else. Looks sharp. He looks sharp. So does Henry, and Christina's all like, I'm underdressed and you should have put some clothes on, because that's how Henry dressed all the time. Henry makes sure he's all the way together. That's what the daddy said, okay? Hair's in place, everything all the way together. Pastor Cal asked how the marriage is going, and honey, Christina just laid it on the line like, listen, I want intimacy. I want to know. I want him to make a move. I want to know that he's interested. I want to know that he likes me. Like, he needs to do something. Do something and do it soon. Like, what are we doing? So Pastor Cal asks Henry, so what is the time frame that you normally move in your previous relationships? He said sometimes it's rather quickly and sometimes it's not. It depends on the chemistry and the connection. I was like, booyah, he don't like her. If he liked her, he would be more into her. He would be more, probably a little more aggressive. He's still quiet and laid back, but he would show more interest in her. Right now, he's just saying, like, some songs you like right away and others takes you a while to get used to. You got to hear them a couple times and get used to them. I was like, she's the song you got to get used to. Which song am I? You know what song you are, girl. You the slow song that nobody like because it's got this weird, like, instrument in the background. And you like, what is that? What is that? But after a while, you like, you know what? This song hits. Y'all know the song I'm talking about. Y'all didn't heard him before. It's just what it is. He asked if she was attractive. Tell her she's attractive. And she was like, yeah, you're attractive. I think you're attractive. Which, of course, is what Christina needs to hear. And so Pastor Cal says, well, what's keeping you from creating the connection? He says, well, she is very attractive. But, and it was a big but, she's more like a friend. She's more like a friend. Probably not what she wanted to hear, but because she's impatient and she's high maintenance. You can see that it is uncomfortable for her. You know, because Pastor Cal says, you know what, I believe if you made a move that she would be like, okay, I'm all in, and would receive it, be receptive to it. Yeah. And he went on to say, what we know about you, Henry, is that you're quiet and you're shy. And yes, she's a bit of a diva. She's a little more passionate than you are, and you need somebody that's going to compliment you with an E, not with an I, and bring you out of a specific place. So I'm really hoping that Henry decides, you know what, I'm gonna give this a good go. I'm gonna really try. Fingers, eyes, and toes crossed. So let's talk Olivia and Brett. First thing I said is at least she knows she's set in her ways. That the place is gonna be small for 3 cats. And he was like, the closet's big enough. She's like, you shouldn't put your babies in the closet. He's like, they'll be fine. It's like a room. I'm not doing that, child. Y'all gonna have cats all over the place and hair everywhere too. So we go to Olivia's house first. We find out that she's renting it. Everything in it is antique because her parents own an antique store. The antiques in there are super cute. Some of it looks a little cluttered, a little crowded, but I like a good antique myself. If I find a good piece, I'm here for it. So she's, you know, showing her house around because I know that she wants, this is before she even makes mention that she wants him to move into her place because she likes her little bubble. He ain't feeling it though. So my question though to you, because we find out a little later that he wants her to move into his place because he owns a house. My question to you is, you know, she lives on the upper end where it's a little more swanky, costs a little more money, and he's where he can afford it. But my question to you is, do you think this is going to be a problem? I'm going to answer that. I do believe it already. But number 2, I also want to know, do you think that they should, one or the other, move into the other person's home? Right? Like, you don't own your home though, Olivia. He does. So that's something that you guys have to consider if you make it past the 8 weeks. Furthermore, you have to consider, is it best that you guys just move into a new place together? And I say that because moving into someone's space does not, you don't always feel like it's yours because they were there first. It always provides some apprehension of it's not comfortable. She could put me out or he could put me out at any time. So that's always a thing. So my question, y'all, is would you move in? Or would you try and find something a little more collaborative, rent out his house, and find something else? I want to know down below in the comments. He makes like a little snide comment. I think this is like his little one-up. Like he's all like, her house feels real sterile. And I think that anybody who rents is just throwing their money away. Some people don't want to buy. Some people would prefer to rent. Some people don't want the responsibility of upkeeping a home. It's a lot of work. Take it from me. You know, you got plumbing issues and upkeep of a house and just a whole lot of electrical stuff. Like all of that is a thing. So something to think about, something to be concerned about. And this is when I wrote down, literally, she is stuck in her ways. You guys say she's sweet, but I see it in her eyes. She is very unwavering in her thoughts and ideas. You can see that when things don't go her way, that she is not the most pleasant to be around. I'm gonna keep it a band. She's just been very tactful in her methods of providing information or sharing her thoughts about what's happening. She's not as sweet as we think. I ain't never really thought she was sweet. I thought she was a nice girl. She's a nice lady. So then we go to Brett's. You can see when they walking through there that she is just judging everything. So much so you heard it. Like, I can't see myself here. She's frowning up at the cabinets. Talking about why do you need a big computer? Because he's smart. I don't know. He might be a hacker. Talking about he a gamer. Is he a gamer or is he a hacker? He works in IT, don't he? Everybody in IT has a big computer at home. Okay, everybody. He even says it felt like she was on a field trip and she was bored. Like, be interested in my house and what's about me. Like, this is a way, like, if you walk in my house, most people who come here says it feels warm and inviting. It feels like me. It looks like me. In my children's rooms, they have their own creative license, right? But the common area space feels like me, looks like me. My energy is here. And so that's a thing. And that's why I think it's going to be a problem for either of them. Sorry, y'all. For either of them to move to one or the other's home. Well, Pastor Cal goes to visit them. He asked them right off the top, what does being married mean to you now? Now that you've been married for a little bit, what does it mean to you now? And I always think Brett's answers are really well thought out. And really smart, because he was like, you know, my perspective hasn't changed. I just understand that it's harder now because of the given situation, not knowing one another. And she's all like, marriage is really hard. I found out that it's really hard and it's hard work. Y'all been married 7 days and you already feel like it's hard work? You already feel like you struggling already? Well, I guess so, because she said he said that there had been some tension in one of his little diary cams, and hopes that after having this conversation with Pastor Cal that things would freshen up, lighten up, open up. It don't seem like it happens that way. He asked her if he's attracted to her, and he's like constantly attracted to her, and she blushes or whatever, and I'm like, constantly attracted? What does that mean, constantly attracted? Like, so some people, some days you're not attracted to them because you got this on, or you look like, that's my question. Like, what does that mean? I guess that means all the time. Everything she does, every time I look at her. They both complimented each other and liked what they saw before they got married, coming down the aisle. You know, she gave him a little compliment like he has his own home and that's a big deal. But then it gets real. She talks about how she wants to be able to travel with her spouse and go to Saints games and do entertainment things, but won't be able to because of the type of budget that, the restrictive budget that Brett has. Because he doesn't have the capital to do the same things, and that's gonna pose a problem. He says if you were gonna fit the bill, then it won't be a problem. And he kind of says it kind of snarky, because you can see he's now instantly offended by the things that she's saying. And she's like, I don't want to do that. I mean, no woman wants to be carrying the bills and footing the bills all the time. Then it becomes this like huge kind of tension and debate between the two of them, because Pastor Cal asked Brett, well, what do you hear her saying? I think I wrote it down verbatim. If you don't make enough money, then oh well, like that's your problem. And she's all like, that's not what I'm trying to say. But that is how it kind of comes across. It's not like they're coming up with a solution that is good for both of them. They didn't compromise and come with a solution that works for them, but they have only been married for 7 days. You do now have 2 incomes, and you can budget. You can budget, and I understand that his budget might be extremely tight because he's smart enough to want a retirement. He wants a retirement nest egg, some funds, right? When he gets old, not have to worry about. So he budgets that into his monthly expenses. I think that's great. Somehow they're gonna have to find some common ground and start him figuring out, how am I gonna start contributing to this? Because now that they're really married, if they last longer than 8 weeks, the money that they had together is a together thing. They need to start figuring out, so here's the house account. Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. Here's my thing about money. I have my money, you have your money, and we are a collective, we are a group, we are a family unit. Things have to be put together, come together collectively. And what you need is a house checking account that takes care of all the bills. You guys figure out what you're going to put in there each. A house savings account, your personal account to do whatever you want to do, and their personal account for what they want to do. And that's just what it is. They can have personal savings and checking, but you have to figure, this is the amount that we are going to put in collectively for the house. somehow figure it out, because they don't equally make the same amount of money. So it might seem a little like jaded, but it is what it is. Figure out, come to an agreement, because you can't do a percentage, because her percentage would always be more. Figure out how much that is, and then guess what? Everything else is yours to do what you please. Retirement, travel. But he also needs to consider that his wife wants to travel and go do stuff. Sit in nosebleed seats. I didn't took too much time on that. He feels like she's frivolous, doesn't buy, and throws all her money away, okay? And she feels like he ain't got no money to do shit. That's really the bottom line of all of that. Pastor Cal lets them know, okay, so now we need to figure out the resolution, because it went from an issue to now being an attack. And the attack, it felt like that to Brett, right? When it wasn't necessarily what she was doing. She was really just voicing her concerns. And then it becomes crying. She starts crying, talking about, I want to be able to be honest with you and open with you and have you understand where I'm coming from, because if it doesn't, if I don't say anything and process these emotions and feelings, then guess what? I'm not gonna like you. I'm gonna resent you. I have to tell you. I can't pretend like everything is okay. So we see him get up, and I'm all like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, they really do edit it so that we look like, what the hell? He was being kind and getting her some tissue. Kingston! I like how Pastor Kyle said the number one reason for divorce is not finances, but how we communicate about finances. And for the two of them, they're going to have to work through whatever their financial issues are, whatever the line in the sand is, so they can get past it. Because otherwise, at 8 weeks, one or both of them are going to say no. Last but not least, we have Woody and Amani. Amani says she's nervous about how things are going to be in real life. Like, she's still waiting for the bomb to drop, because why? All the baggage that she carries from the bombs dropping from before. Like, you signed up for this. My thing about love is I've been hurt. Right? I've been hurt. My heart's been broken. I lost my husband. Like, I've had some issues, but I have healed my issues, and being able to go forward fresh into a relationship and not carrying that shit with you. Like, it's one thing to be cautious and to be aware. It's another thing to pick it up and bring it with you. So maybe Amani is just being cautious and vigilant, but Karen has picked it up and brought it with her. Yeah? I think that's it. Yeah, I like that. I like that better. So Amani is nervous about things happening now that they're back in New Orleans and how things are going to go. She's fearful that things are going to change. The question would be why, right? You want to ask why. And what she's going to say, from what we know, is that relationship has been great for her in the start, and then boom, the bomb drops. Boom, somebody becomes somebody different. It's not what I thought it was going to be. So that's her carrying her previous experiences in with her, making her fearful, and hopefully it doesn't stop her from opening up and continuing to love. Because there's one thing to be cautious and aware, remain vigilant of what things are happening, but then you can cross that line and it be now you are stifling your relationship because you're constantly side-eyeing, which really means I've brought my old baggage with me to my new situation. Throw the old wine skins away, because you need new wine skins for new wine. Y'all like that? If anybody know anything about the Bible, that was kind of like a little reference. You can't put old wine, you can't put new wine in old wine skins. Like, yeah, I might be a little crazy, but I know a little something. I'm a little spiritual in a lot of different ways. Anyway, so Pastor Cal visits first. Before they go to the apartment, we see him visiting them first. And I literally started like tearing up, because I thought, I love their ability to communicate with one another, with Pastor Cal there. How they are into each other. And when Pastor Cal asked Woody, what does he like about Amani? And he said, she's beautiful, but she's brutally honest. And I think I need that. I need somebody to be honest and open with me. He asked them, had they had sex? And they kind of like got kind of kiddish, kind of, you know, excited, you know. And they said yes in unison, like they're connected. They are connected. He asked them if they use condoms though. And she said, not all the time. Listen, he was like, y'all don't want no babies right away. you know, Woody, I was hoping for a honeymoon baby. Hold on, listen. It's more than just babies out here that you could possibly have, because I don't know if they're testing them before they get on the show. Like, I think that that's an invasion of privacy unless they sign off on it, but I don't know if that's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so more than just a baby, you don't want things that can't be cured. You don't want any STI, that's what they call them now. You know, they was STDs before, but you don't want any STIs, STDs. You don't want unwanted pregnancies either. So that's something that we all have to be mindful of. I don't give a damn how good it is. He probably was like, let me just feel it without it. Let me see what it feels like without the condom. You know, that's what they tell you. And the answer is no. Let's get some tests and stuff and be together for a little while, and then it'll be yes. Or not. So Pastor Cal is like, you know what, I like the connection that you guys have, but when you have chemistry and you connect this way, sometimes you avoid serious conversations. You don't get down to the nitty gritty. You don't get deep. And that could be why relationships end when you have such great chemistry. When you start finding out real shit about them, you're like, oh, this ain't what I thought. Yeah, you didn't know it because you didn't know from the beginning. So when Pastor Cal asked about boundaries, you know, tell Amani what your boundaries are. And he was like, I don't want to be surprised. I don't like surprises. Like, don't go off and do something and not tell me. And then he had the nerve to use the analogy of, don't go cut your hair off and come home and I not know. Like, tell me. And she's all like, I could cut my hair if I want to. And he's all like, no, you got to tell me. We need to discuss it first. I know all y'all was looking like disgusted. I ain't got to discuss nothing about what I'm gonna do to change my body. Like, I can inform you, but I don't have to tell you anything. It is mine. And that is exactly what Amani was saying, but not with all the sauce that I have, because she knows how to communicate and be heard without being too saucy. I commend her. Congratulations, Black woman, for being able to articulate yourself without getting up and being upset. Like, that's a huge thing. And the way they worked through this was really huge. What got me though is he said, if you change your hair or something, I may not be attracted to you. I was like, this is when I was like, yeah, Woody, that's the wrong answer. Then you ain't ready to be married, because we gonna change. We gonna gain weight. We gonna lose weight. We might cut our hair. We might change our makeup. You may not like what you see. You have to really love me. Not get y'all just met each other, but you got to love me. All of me. Y'all see, I changed my hair like 90 going north. Color, style, hair, cut it, not cut it. This is just a quick weave, so don't, you know, my hair is braided up under here, but nonetheless, all of that. Like, you have to be prepared. And if you married to me, honey, you ought to know that I changed my hair. I might meet you today and look one way. If you expect that look the next time you see me, that ain't it. It ain't there. You can't tell a woman how to present herself. There are a lot of people that do though. Oh no, don't cut your hair. You know, because it's a thing. What I know is it's a thing about men. They like women, a lot of them like women with long hair. Natural hair, their natural hair out. Well, I don't like to wear my natural hair except for in a ponytail, so yeah. He then though gives us some insight as to why. He was like, I was expecting a child once and she went and had an abortion without consulting me. Number one, again, it's still her body. He went on though to say, if she would have discussed it with me, she wouldn't have been there by herself. So like, she just went off and did it. Didn't tell him, oh, I'm having an abortion, I'm pregnant, I'm having an abortion. He might have been pregnant and thought he was having that he was getting ready to have a child. But she was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna have an abortion, and didn't tell him, just went off on the side. I can understand him wanting to know, but he also needs to understand that it's still her decision. And that's what Amani said. Amani said, you have to understand that it's still, whatever the change is, it's still, especially when it comes to my body and how I present myself, it is still my decision. But I can understand having a conversation with it, but ultimately the decision is mine, not yours. Because you're going to have to like me. If my hair is what it's predicated on, then we have to figure out this attraction. They go to Woody's house first. He is roommating with his grandmother, like literally roommating, not like living with her, but roommating, I guess. So that means he's paying rent and whatnot too. Like, you know, like it ain't my grandma's old house and I done moved in, or my grandmother's old and I have to live with my grandmother for that reason. Or maybe it is. Okay. She packed him a little bag, little travel bag to go home with some beans and rice and stuff. Red beans and rice. Come on, grandma. Come on, grandma. Grandma got sequins. Amani's like, I like all the sequins. Okay, come on, grandma. Grandma is stylish and in. That's why grandma was so protective of him at dinner, brunch, whenever that was, when they got married. Y'all remember she was very protective of him because she lives with him and she sees him every day, because she's like, oh no, don't talk about my baby. He too has lots of shoes and hats all over the place, and she's all like, we're not having no hat wall. He's like, well, maybe in the closet. Yeah, that's where we go, in the closet. We're not having no hat wall. I'm with her. Ladies, hat walls. You got a hat wall? You got a wig wall, don't you? So when we get to Amani's house, right, Woody's all like, I need to see who she is. I like to be stylish. I'm stylish, and I need to know that we're going to be fly and full of swag together. So I need to see what kind of clothes she got. And they go through the house fine. He gets to the closet, and he was like, oh boy. He wasn't expecting her to have so much stuff. Like it's a huge closet. Women got a lot of stuff. Shoes, clothes. We like to look a certain way. We have a lot of options. And, you know, he's standing there holding the stuff, and she was like, oh, this is what I've always wanted. A husband, so that it, you know, he could carry my stuff. Like, I think they're cute. I think it's going to work out. I actually really enjoyed this episode quite a bit. It's just going to get better because next week we get to see them in their family friend dynamic, integrating the two and having a good time. And I'm already excited to see about Karen and Miles, right? So here's my predictions as of today. Amani and Woody, I still say yes. I mean, they were able to communicate and get through their issues together, like have a civilized conversation and hear one another and understand that, okay, this is something that we have to work through together. There was no headbutting. There was nice casual conversation. Like, let's get to the root of this. Hear me out. Then you've got Amelia and Bennett. I don't think it's going to be a really huge deal because Bennett is going to bend. He is going to fall for Amelia, and he's going to go where she goes. But my spirit tells me her residency is going to be in New Orleans. She's going to luck up. Then we have Christina and Henry. It's a no, because we now know Henry don't like her, right? Christina was hopeful. That could change, but he don't like her. Right now, he don't like her. He like, she impatient, she rude, she high maintenance, she complained too much. Like, he don't like her. It's not what he would normally go for, okay? Then you got Olivia and Brett. And I had started thinking that maybe because they had started communicating well, and he's really a good communicator despite what you guys think about him. I'm actually liking Brett. He has some flaws like the rest of us. Like, if they put me on there, y'all would be like, well, damn, Talisa, what happened? Because, you know, we're not perfect. We have to come back and realize and be like, oh, this is crazy. But I think that he means well, and he's a little sensitive, right? He's a little sensitive. Nonetheless, it's a no for him. She's struggling with his finances. He's struggling with her finances and her frivolous behavior and spending. Okay, so it's a no. Who's left? Amani and Woody. Nope. Did I do them already? Karen and Miles is who's left. As of today, Karen, if she could just get out of her own way and open up and relax and be in the moment and understand that other things will hurt us. It's not just relationships, other stuff, jobs, friends. We got a lot of things that'll hurt us. And so this one thing shouldn't stop you. You have to be open to love, because if this doesn't work out with Miles, you're going to take another 2-3 years before you get into a new relationship. Girl, your clock is ticking is what you said. You want to be married in a relationship. You're taking a long time. I still am hopeful for them. But he doesn't know what he wants either. So that could be a problem. I don't know how I feel. And one end I want to say yes, and the other one I want to say no. So let's go maybe. Let me know what y'all think about this episode down below in the comments. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait because we are progressing into more stuff about them. I I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Thank you so much for watching my review of Married at First Sight, season number 11, episode 7. The honeymoon is over. If it's your first time visiting my channel, you should definitely be clicking that subscribe button to become a ray of sunshine. You should also be clicking the notification bell so that you're alerted of videos that I upload. And then give me a thumbs up because you like me and I'll know that it's real. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next review.